$78 million worth of revenue and $3 million worth of profit to $1.82 billion worth of revenue and $42 million worth of profit in 2 years just with Bitcoin. So this is strikingly good news for anyone who owns Bitcoin or is in digital currency or is an investor, because it just shows it's a strong user case that the planet is slowly evolving and adapting to the use of payments for via cryptocurrencies. In this particular case, it's talking about Bitcoin, obviously, but there are multiple other coins out there now that will also start making headway as the platforms get stronger, as people become more aware of it, and as transactions fees lower as well. So that's a good thing as well. Okay, let's have a quick look at the market to begin with and see where we're at on the heat map. So Bitcoin up a little bit today, Ethereum down a little bit today, ADA up a little bit today, Solana down a little bit today, Polkadot down a little bit, BNB up a little bit. So pretty much I would say across the board we're likely to be at a 50-50 split. Some coins are up, some coins are down, but pretty much everything's going sideways. Let's have a look at the cryptocurrency exchanges and see where things are at overall. Bitcoin for the last 30 days is up 10%. Ethereum is up a whopping 25%, which is great for Ethereum holders. 2.0 was launched, I believe, so that would be good news for them. Solana up 51%. That's obviously in our portfolio. Cardano down a little bit, down 10%. XRP up 6%. Polkadot up a whopping 61% for those DOT holders. That's really, really good. Shiba Inu, we've spoken about that in our last video, but that's up 118%, which is good news. So overall, look, in the last 30 days, the market's done pretty well. With, a few exceptions to the rule, but overall things have done very, very well for most people in our crypto group. Now let's go have a look at the market and see where it is. Here's our chart again. As you can see, we're probably, what are we up to now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We're about halfway through the cycle for this 31-day cycle. And pretty much it's going sideways. It's really not doing a lot at all. And that's perfectly okay. And you'll find that sometimes when coins or stocks hit all new time highs, there's a consolidation pattern that happens, or a consolidation period that happens right around the top as things gather momentum and consolidate a little bit before pushing off into new territory. So to see it move sideways isn't actually a bad thing, even though it's frustrating because we want to see our money grow. I would not be too concerned about this at all. Essentially, I mean, this is a daily chart, so essentially for the last 2-3 weeks it's probably gone sideways, even though the overall chart is up, and that's a good thing. We want to see the chart heading upwards, but it's also, when I say consolidating, it's also in a price sort of fix. So if you had have gotten into the market back on the 15th of October, it's pretty much done nothing. Even though there's been up and downs through that. And that's just generally what happens from time to time. Now, I think I've had quite a number of messages, so I'm just going to close this window. Got people outdoors mowing their lawns today. It's a pretty good day in Melbourne, Australia. A bit windy. So I've been messaged over and during the last 2 weeks just from a few people wondering if it's too late. The market moves have already happened, and that, maybe the run's over and it will never sort of grow from here, or if it does, it might grow at a slower rate, and are they better off getting out of the market now and taking their profits? So this is really a individual and a personal view that you have to take with yourself. My personal opinion is that this market has got a long, long way to go. I've always said on this channel that I'm a long-term thinker, and I'm not really somebody who trades coins. I have had a couple of trades in the past where I might have held a coin for 3 months, 6 months, and then gotten out of it. But overall, my 99% of my portfolio is buy and hold. So for those that are wondering whether they need to get out now, it's really a personal choice. If you're unsure but you want to take some profits, it's perfectly okay to do that. If you're really nervous, it's totally okay to get out of the market completely and come and revisit it later. The market will always be there. So I'm certainly not stressed about it at all. But I can tell you from what I've read in the marketplace and what I understand, we are still so early into this market. We are, if you're holding cryptocurrency at the moment, you are still a minority on the planet. Most of the planet don't hold cryptocurrency. They know what it might mean or what it is, or they know of a cryptocurrency being Bitcoin, but they don't know of the other ones that are out there in the marketplace. And the world really still hasn't woken up. It's only just starting to gain momentum now, and it can only get bigger and bigger and bigger. So my personal opinion is, if you can do it, hang on to your assets and just see where this ship goes. Even if it takes another 2 years to get where you want, it's still worth it. It's still going to be faster than what you would get out of property, or even working a 9-to-5 job, or putting it into bonds, or sticking it in the bank with interest rates. Again, remember, it's an emotional journey. So again, it's a personal choice. I'm happy for people in my private investment group to message me, as you always do, with any concerns. But for me, this is a natural phase, a consolidation phase, where things don't move. They sort of stagnate a little bit, but I do believe things will take off. Now, I want to give you some really good value on this channel. So let's go through why I think we are very early into this space. Okay, so this is on CoinDesk. And this is a news article from December the 31st, 2019. No, it wasn't. It was from February the 27th, 2020. So nearly 2 years ago. But it was a report that was done on Square's Cash App revenue in the fourth quarter. It's hard to read when my face is covering part of the news article here. Let me see if I can change that. Square reported Bitcoin revenues of $178 million between November the 1st and December 31st, 2019. So for those that don't know, Square is a payment app. A lot of people, even in Australia, a lot of cafes, a lot of micro businesses are using the Square app to take payments. So Square obviously allow Bitcoin to be used as a payment mechanism for businesses that want payment in Bitcoin. And so here it's saying back in 2019 that Square generated $178 million worth of revenue. Profits of that were $3 million, up 50% over the last 2 quarters. Now remember, that's 2019. Let's just have a look at this news article that came out recently. So remember, 178 million with 3 million of profits. Payments firm Square said in its third quarter earnings Thursday that its peer-to-peer payment advice Cash App generated $1.8 billion worth of Bitcoin revenue in the quarter and $42 million of gross profit, up 115% and 29% year on year respectively. So we've gone from Square have gone from $178 million worth of revenue and $3 million worth of profit to $1.82 billion worth of revenue and $42 million worth of profit in 2 years just with Bitcoin. So this is strikingly good news for anyone who owns Bitcoin or is in digital currency or is an investor, because it just shows it's a strong user case that the planet is slowly evolving and adapting to the use of payments for via cryptocurrencies. In this particular case, it's talking about Bitcoin, obviously, but there are multiple other coins out there now that will also start making headway as the platforms get stronger, as people become more aware of it, and as transactions fees lower as well. So that's a good thing as well. So some other news in Australia, which again poises us to reflect and understand how big this market is going to become. The Commonwealth Bank, which is Australia's largest bank, is to offer cryptocurrency trading in first for out of Australia's big four banks. So our big four banks over here: ANZ, National Australia Bank, Commonwealth Bank, and Westpac. So CBA is the first to launch that, which is interesting to say the least. If CBA are doing it, I guarantee you the other three players in Australia's big bank markets will do it, and then so will all the other smaller markets, banks eventually jump on board. That'd be crazy. Down here you can see they've quoted, "We believe we can play an important role in crypto to address what clearly is a growing customer need and provide capability, security and confidence in a crypto trading platform." And that was a CBA Chief Executive Matt Coman said in his statement. So when you've got banks like the CBA now jumping on board the crypto, it's interesting to actually, if you go back and have a look at what banks were saying maybe 5 years ago, they weren't even touching crypto. They thought it was a spooky story. People were going to lose all their money. It was a scam. You can't trust it. And now the banks are jumping on board finally. So, and look, that's not a good thing or a bad thing with banks. The bank's job is to make money for its shareholders, but also to protect its users, its customers, from frauds and scams. So it's actually quite good that banks have been reserved on cryptocurrency, and they've now taken a while to wake up because they've done their research, they're doing their homework and put in a lot of thought and effort into it. So now for a bank to come out and say, you know what, this industry has now is more legitimate, it has better security than what it maybe did have 5 years ago or even 10 years ago. It's not that banks are waking up, banks are saying now the market is ready for us. So I think that's really, really good news. Let's jump to another news story. ANZ Bank. The weight of money means crypto cannot be ignored. So when you look under the hood on that, we've concluded that this is a major protocol shift for the financial market infrastructure. That was Nigel Dobson, ANZ Banking's services portfolio lead. So the ANZ Bank is also looking at this. One of ANZ Bank's senior executives has told Blockchain Australia Forum that the crypto sector has grown too big to be ignored by traditional finance. And this article came out 21 hours ago. So this is really good news. Let's have a look at some other ones. Mastercard. This was an old story, but it's now gaining more momentum as they are now adopting properly to the ecosystem of Bitcoins and cryptocurrency. Why Mastercard is bringing crypto onto its network. You can find this out if you just go to mastercard.com and have a look at, even you can go to Visa, you can go to a number of different places and have a look at what the credit industry is doing. They are all starting to jump on board and move towards a crypto option for their users, for their customers, realizing that if they don't do it, somebody else is going to. So it's either you do it or you lose your customer base, which obviously is not what anyone wants to do, especially a bank. And this is just a story that was also on Cointelegraph. It only came out 3 hours ago, but it highlights what I was talking about earlier about the consolidation pattern that's happening with Bitcoin at the moment. It is going sideways. Actually, I didn't do that, but let's jump onto Bitcoin's chart, and you can see it's moved sideways for the last couple of weeks, and it's moving sideways all along this pattern, all along this price range here. So this article just simply states that Bitcoin's consolidation is normal. Analysts set an 80k Bitcoin price target for the end of the year. Now in Australia, we've already hit 80k because of the difference in what am I trying to say here? The Australian dollar, the strength of the Australian dollar. So for Bitcoin, for us, is already at $80,000. So when you see articles in newspapers or on websites that may not necessarily be hosted in Australia, Cointelegraph obviously is hosted in America. Their 80k Bitcoin target for us means a 100k Bitcoin target. So if Bitcoin hits a 100k before the end of the year, that is bloody great news. And I'll be wrapped for that to happen as well. So that's good. Now, let's have a talk about, what am I going to go to next here? Let's go to Ben Armstrong regarding Ripple. So Ben Armstrong, for those that don't follow him, he's called BitBoy _ crypto on Twitter, and he's really spends. I spend a lot of time researching. This guy's really in the depths of it. So he's tweeting and posting all day, every day, and he pointed out probably about, I think this was early this morning, at 6 o'clock this morning. The Howey test does not apply to Ripple, and the SEC is going to have to admit that there was nothing in Ripple's contracts that created expectations of profits of purchase. So this is very big news. You can see here on the lower third, Ripple scores major win. Judge orders SEC to explain ... a lot. So for Ripple holders, I think the news is just getting better and better. The Ripple community, or as it's known as the Ripple Army, is obviously ecstatic with this sort of outcome for their loved crypto, and we'll see where this goes. So I don't think it's going to be too much longer before Ripple will start, really moving strongly in the marketplace and become once again a major player in the cryptocurrency. It's always been a major player. It's always had lots of support. It just really hasn't done the moves that other cryptos have done. So it's got a lot of groundwork to catch up on, but I think as soon as this news comes out, and the SEC obviously are going to have to come back with some of their opinions on why they thought the Ripple was in the wrong. I think as all this news comes out, it's only going to be good news for Ripple holders. So again, if you're part of my investment group, or even if you're not, and you don't currently hold Ripple, I've always been bullish on Ripple. I think it's got a good user case, and it's got a very strong community behind it. So it's not too late to get into Ripple. Let's just jump on the charts again. What's Ripple at the moment? XRP. Again, this is US dollars, remember? Yep, and you can see, it's really gone sideways since August. Shot up through the roof, nearly hit $2, came back down again, and has pretty much consolidated and moved sideways. It really is waiting on the news and the clearance of this SEC lawsuit to really make way for new headroom for this. But I think that's only just around the corner. Okay, for those that are interested, I'm going to talk about 2 new coins that I haven't done before. Actually 3 new coins, and if you want to have a look at this yourself, you're more than welcome to. Iota is a smart contract provider, and I think they've got a different version of the way they want to see things running, and you can have a look at this article. Maybe I'll link it in the description below if you want to have a look at it yourself. It goes through and talks about smart contracts and their use cases and what it all means, which is really good. But here it talks about why smart contracts on Iota are very different. I've also tweeted this article for those who are interested in connecting to me on Twitter. So it reads, the main smart contract ecosystem today is without a doubt Ethereum. That is very true. But as in any ecosystem, Darwinian forces are at work here as well, and there are many projects that are eyeing the throne. Cardano is one of those, and I've spoken about Cardano in previous posts, and that is Cardano obviously is in our portfolio of suggested assets to hold. But it goes on to say that the Iota blockchain and smart contracts is very, very different. So today the biggest pain point is the tremendous fees that people get charged when they're using Ethereum, where Iota is feeless. Blockchains are getting slower the bigger they become, but Iota scales up faster the more participants. So it's a very different way of running a network system that's going to make things a lot faster as more and more people jump on the blockchain system and use their smart contracts. Furthermore, as it goes on to say, Iota added Ethereum virtual machine, which is EVM, compatibility for easy porting smart contracts. The contracts follow the Lego bricks concept and bring full interoperability to the blockchain. Now, it's interesting to see that the smart contract market size was valued at 145 million in 2020, and it's projected to reach 770 million by 2028. Which is basically a 25% annual growth. The other thing with Iota is that it's feeless. I don't know if I said that before. So there are no fees with the Iota blockchain and smart contracts. So if you're looking for something different, if you've got a bit of money in your bank account, or you might be sick and tired of holding some of the stocks you've got, coins you've got, and you might want to consider maybe swapping them for a different contract type. Iota would be one you could look at. Let's have a look at the chart of Iota before we move on to the next article. Okay, so really big pennant forming here. Again, it's moving sideways. It's had some good movement in the past. This is a daily chart, but it's got a long way to go. Again, the more and more people jump onto this sort of stuff, obviously the better it is for all of us. But I'm going to be putting some money into Iota. I think it's got a good user case. And again, it's just about the rest of the world waking up and finding out about these amazing contracts and how they work. So it's for me, it's a no-brainer. It's worth putting a bit of money in to see where it goes. The price at the moment, again, this is US dollars, so $1.30, so it's probably around about $1.50, $1.60 or something like that in Australia. One of the things I do like to do is also look at what sectors within the crypto market there are, and there are lots of them now. If you wanted to have a look at different categories, you could do that. You can go to CoinMarketCap and click on categories, and there is a bucket load of different categories of coins and crypto that are based in different categories. So you've got VR and AR, you've got health, tourism, file sharing, insurance, social money, distributed computing, jobs. It just goes on and on and on. I actually don't know how many different categories there are now. And they've got new ones coming up, like Metaverse is a new category that's sort of popped up. It was around a little while ago, but it's gaining more momentum now. So there are lots and lots of cryptocurrencies out there at the moment, and different categories. So it's 132, which is huge. But one of the biggest growing ones at the moment is gaming, and I'm just going to try and find it because I got out of it. So when you go into the gaming one, it lists all of the crypto assets that are currently on CoinMarketCap. There are probably others that aren't listed, but you can see here Axie Infinity is the big player at the moment, and this is also a crypto that I'll be investing in the very near future. Axie is very different, so let's go to some news and we'll just talk about Axie and why I think it's worthwhile having a look at, and what else you can do if you think Axie is a bit too expensive for you. Okay, so this article here talks about Axie, and it sort of highlights why I think it's leading the race at the moment and will continue to do so. It's an expensive crypto. For those that are worried about price, it's around about the $150 mark at the moment. I don't have a chart up of it, but never mind. So let's just go through this and explain it to you what Axie do. So Axie Infinity, which is the name of the crypto, its code is AXS, is the latest name to throw its hat into the DEX ring with the launch of Katana, a decentralized exchange built for the Axie ecosystem. So they have built a decentralized exchange, but it's built for Axie. Now, if we just scroll down here, I'm going to paraphrase a lot of this because we don't want to be confusing too many people. I want to try and make this as simple as possible. Okay, so although many blockchain-powered games feature a decentralized marketplace or trading system, Axie Infinity is the first to build and deploy its own fully fledged decentralized exchange. Now, since it launched less than a day ago, Katana has already notched up 644 plus million in liquidity and 189 million in 24-hour trading volume. So 2/3 of which stems from the SLP and WETH pool. So sorry, SLP, for those that don't know, is Smooth Love Potion, which is an awesome name for a coin. That is Axie's kind of like its gas fees. For those that know that with Theta, you've got Theta and Tfuel. Axie has Axie and SLP, Smooth Love Potion. So that's really, really great. So it's the first one to. Axie is the first one to create this. Basically, it's play to earn, and what players do on the Axie network is that they play video games and they get paid in Smooth Love Potion tokens. So it's a new service called Play to Earn. Now, given that Axie, the last part of the article is really important. Given that Axie Infinity arguably started the play-to-earn trend, it wouldn't come as a surprise if more blockchain games deploy their own similar solutions in the near future. So that is gold, because sometimes when we're not aware of certain things happening with cryptos, some people would say the bull run or the run that we wanted, the growth, has already happened. Now, that's actually not quite true. It's always got a long way to go, and it will always continue to go up. But I do understand what people mean when they go, it's too expensive for me to get into. So let's go over to the gaming tokens again and just have a look at this. So Axie at the moment in US dollars is 148.61 cents. And it's moved up nicely, 19.45% over the last 30 days. It's ranked number 23 by market capitalization. So if something like that was a bit too expensive for you, and you thought that you didn't have enough money to invest in $148 worth of, for some people I get it, some people only have $150, $200 a week or less to invest on the market, so putting all of that into one crypto might be too much. The best thing to do then is to look at what is the next one based on market capitalization, and it's this one here called Decentraland. So, and the code for that is MANA. That's only $2.99, and that's already up a whopping 276% for the last 30 days. So all of a sudden you could buy more Decentraland than you can Axie, and that might give you a stronger reason to look at the gaming sector as far as crypto goes. You might feel that you've got more growth there. If Axie is at $148 and Decentraland is only at $2.99, given that it's not too far away from Axie. I mean, Axie's at 23, ranked number 23, Decentraland is ranked number 40. That's pretty good. But you can go down and have a look at all the other ones here. Obviously, you've got to find an exchange that will allow you to buy and sell these cryptos. Not all of these will be listed on CoinSpot. Some will be, some won't be. Axie, Decentraland is. Obviously, Veracity is, because it's already on part of our portfolio. But you can go down and have a look at a number of these coins and see what you'd like. I'd always suggest you strongly do your research before you buy into anything. But for me, it's a no-brainer. If Axie's too much for you, go into the second one that hasn't maybe quite made the moves yet, but it doesn't mean it's not going to. And I can guarantee you Decentraland and all the other coins below it will be looking at Axie as a leader in the market at the moment to develop their own protocols within their own blockchain. It's exactly the same as what Ethereum did when Bitcoin came out. Bitcoin was the leader, it is still the leader, but Ethereum looked at that very closely and modeled something off that. Decentraland and other coins will be looking at Axie as a leader in their current space, but it's not to say that Axie will always be number one or will always be leading the pack, but at the moment it is, and I can almost guarantee you that most of the tokens will also be looking to develop something similar to Axie or something even better. So it's a good way to sort of get your foot, your toes wet in the water of the gaming tokens. So that's the end of this thing. So let's just cover off things. Prices at the moment going sideways. That's life. I know it's painful because we all wanted to see it go up, but we had covered off a lot of good news articles. We spoke about Square Cash's app revenue in the first quarter back in 2019 and what that compares to now in 2021. The Commonwealth, ANZ and Mastercard are all looking to jump on board cryptos at the moment. So again, we're very early into this space. You certainly haven't lost out by getting in late, or if you think you've gotten in late, you certainly haven't. It's going to be really interesting to see where the market is in another 2 to 4 years. Very, very interesting. We spoke about Bitcoin's consolidation and why that's normal, and we're not too stressed about that. Analysts set an $80,000 price target for the end of the year. That's $80,000 US. It's about $100,000 Australian. And we looked at 2 new tokens. We looked at Iota, which I would consider you having a look at. I think that's worthwhile getting into. And we've looked at the gaming sector with Axie and Decentraland as 2 options for you to invest in into your portfolio. Until next time, please leave your comments below. If you could help me out by liking this channel, I don't need you to subscribe to it, but if you want to, that's even better. But liking it does help the Google spiders understand and the YouTube understand how relevant this topic is to your interests. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care.